Hmm.
Amy, if you need the one-liner that just says, "Hey, Amy's friends, you all are the bad queers, not Amy," you could play that on repeat. I give
Yeah.
full permission. This is Shayna,
And Kris.
and we are bad queers. If you came out of the closet and got put in a box of stereotypes you don't belong to, then welcome to the Bad Queers Club.
All right. This week in Queer Urban Dictionary, I have questioning. Questioning is a time in many people's lives where they question or experiment with their gender expression, gender identity, and or sexual orientation. My sentence is questioning is a deeply personal process of exploring one's identity, and it doesn't follow a set timeline. It's unique to everyone. For some, it could last a lifetime or return at different stages, shaped by new experiences and self-discovery.
My Queer Urban Dictionary word of the week is anchor partner. Anchor partner is a partner who one regards as a central figure in one's life, a stable rock or anchor to lean on. This can also be called a nesting partner, and it's often used in non hierarchical relationships for someone's equivalent of a primary partner in a hierarchical setting. So, my sentence is an anchor partner is typically used in polyamorous relationships to refer to the person as a primary partner. All right, well,
Yeah.
let's go ahead over to praise, pray tell. The internet is on fire.
It is.
We're
It
going to talk a
is.
little bit about it. For this first category it is 112% a trigger warning. We're going to be talking about sexual violence. We're going to be basically talking
Not
about
112.
DDG and
It's
yeah, I
got
said
bad boy
112.
coded. Yeah.
Oh, damn. I didn't even know.
I was like,
Wow.
112 is
And I just
quite the
pulled that
number.
number
I know you
out of my
did. That's why I
head.
was like, 112 is quite the
Ah!
number for this because very bad boy coded. Very much.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, look at me.
Mm,
It's just in
yeah.
the system. So we're
Yeah.
talking DDG, we're talking Diddy. This is your trigger warning. We have timings in the episode notes. So if you would like to skip this portion of the podcast, then please go check out our episode notes and you can go ahead to the next two sections, which are going to be much more lighthearted and entertaining. All right, so let's talk DDG. Let's talk Diddy as much as we don't want to, but they set the internet ablaze over the course of this week, and it's only Wednesday when we're recording.
Yeah. The trial for Diddy's federal trial, and we talked about this before, it started this week. It started last week on the 5th with jury selection, but the actual trial started this week. So
Yes.
whew, we are in store for a lot. I think they estimate that the trial will be about 2 months. So we'll have ongoing updates of this, but it's been quite the start.
I feel like it might even go longer because already just with Cassie's
Mm-hmm.
like telling of everything has gone days. And if
Mm-hmm.
people continue to release these stories, they're gonna be like, wait, 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 I have more.
Yeah.
Another thing and another thing. And I feel like that's about to be how this goes down. So if you have not been paying attention to what is happening with the Diddy trial, the first person has come up to start to testify. So Sean Diddy Combs' ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, aka Cassie, began what could be a days-long testimony. We've already seen it go for a couple days in Diddy's sex trafficking trial, alleging on the witness stand that Diddy had subjected her to physical abuse and coerced her to participate in a quote-unquote freak-off sex performances. She filed this lawsuit originally in 2023, which accused Diddy of rape and physical abuse. This kicked off his legal problems. She testified that her and Diddy would have violent arguments in which he would smash her in the head, knock her over, drag her, kick her, stomp her, and that Diddy regularly coerced her into freak off sex performances in which he would watch her have sex with a male escort, which Cassie said made her feel disgusting and horrible about herself. The testimony started off the trial and it also coincided with the then hotel security guard who responded in 2016 to Diddy attacking Cassie in a Los Angeles hotel. That video has circulated the internet far and wide. It was caught on surveillance video and published by CNN, who testified that the security guard had testified that Diddy had bribed him to stay silent about the incident and said that he saw Cassie in the corner, hood on, covered up with a purple eye. And that the second witness, Male escort Daniel Phillip, he testified that he was paid to have sex with Cassie while Diddy watched, and that he saw Diddy throw a bottle at Cassie, pull her by her hair, and drag her into a room when she didn't come to him after he called for her. To start this off as a testimony does not look good for Diddy at all. We knew that a lot of the behind the scenes were going to be messed up, especially once that video was released, especially once the quick turnaround that we talked about when Cassie filed the lawsuit and he immediately paid. So to be able to see and hear this in more graphic detail has just been disheartening that it's all being put out there to prove that this man was as violent as he is.
Yeah. But Cassie is also like 8.5 months pregnant. So praying for her. And it's crazy to have to recount that. As we're recording, this is day 2 of her testimony. I don't know. I think the start of cross exam will start today. I saw earlier, with the updates, they don't have cameras in federal court cases. So everything that gets out is being reported for from those who are in there. But yeah, I thought it was interesting how early her testimony came, but she's also very pregnant, and they said she's due in June, so I'm sure they wanted to make sure they get to her since this is supposed to last.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting approach with the defense, where their opening statement, and from the folks that know way more about this legal stuff than we do, said that his defense did a pretty good job of the opening statements of like framing that, like, yes, you saw that video. Diddy is a domestic abuser for sure, terrible guy, like they're owning that. But, they're going to try to, with this case, basically be like, he's a freak and he's an abuser, but he's not a sex trafficker. I know there's like a RICO racketeering charge with this. So, it's what you could prove. And I know the jury is made up mostly of men. I think it's 12 men to in that jury pool. So anything can happen with things.
Mm-hmm.
Federal cases are usually pretty, I mean, they have like a 97% conviction rate, but Diddy has money. Um, I'm thinking of this outside chance of like, I don't know why this is in my head, but I feel like even if convicted, like he gets like a Trump pardon or something. I just feel like something's gonna happen with this. So a little
Mm-hmm.
uneasy about how it's gonna go. Interested to see what other evidence the prosecution has. But yeah, his actual charges, his main charges are sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation for the purpose of prostitution. So uh, we'll we'll see how this happens. Again, this is going to be ongoing for the next 2 months or so. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of revelations, I'm sure.
Yes, we'll be getting a lot of TMZ pop-ups, banners, different
I try
articles.
and
I
stay away from
think,
them.
right.
I hate TMZ, but
It's
there's a
just,
lot of
it's so
great reporting
aggressive.
going on there. So
I,
it's just too sensational. Like it's clear what they're picking out of the testimony. I mean, this is obviously very violent and sexually graphic, what
mm-hmm.
is alleged here and what happened. So, the sensationalism on the internet is already happening. It's like the Tory and Meg case times 1,000.
Yep,
So. mm.
sure is. Wait, wasn't there something about Tory that just came out
I was like,
about
speaking
him
of
getting
Tory,
stabbed?
Tory got stabbed in prison. Um, a lot of medical professionals, from what he put out on his Instagram, I'm not gonna go to it because I don't care. But a lot of medical professionals are like, I don't have a dog in this fight, but this nigga's lying. Like he was like, it was some wild thing. Like he on his Instagram said he's got stabbed like 14 times and had both lungs collapse and blah blah blah. But he's fine now and speaking. And I'm sure it's probably some legal angle of trying to get him out of whatever prison he's in to
Mm-hmm.
show how dangerous it is. But yeah, Tory got stabbed, and the internet was like, basically pulled the reverse Uno card, like did everything that they did to Meg, where it was like, let's see him. Did he get stabbed? Just doubting the whole story, even though
Mm-hmm.
there was actual doubt in his story for real. Like there was medical professionals being like, what's described here? There's no way it
Not
happened.
it.
Like he would either be dead. Like it was like he got stabbed in the head twice, two collapsed. Like it was just like, all right. And then they were
Right.
like, but he's talking. He's in good spirits and talking. And I was like, there's no way. there's no way. So yes, Tori got stabbed. Speaking
Huh.
of abusers.
Right.
Uh and then DDG in this story.
DDG. First of all, Halle Bailey is an angel among angels. So I'm just like, how your child is literally named Halo. Like, when we had talked about this and we were like, I think we talked about them early on and we're just like, girl, get out. Don't do
Yeah.
it. And
He's
now,
never a good guy. He never seemed like a good guy.
ever.
And now we know he's not.
Yep. So, if you haven't heard this drama, Halle Bailey and her son, Halo, were granted a restraining order against rapper, YouTuber DDG, whose legal name is Daryl Granberry, which I did not know it was Granberry. Daryl Granberry Jr. Um, this happened May 13th. And in the court documents, Halle alleges multiple instances of violent behavior and says that she is seeking orders to protect herself and her son from his ongoing abuse. He must stay at least 100 yards away from Halle and Halo until their hearing on June 6th. And Halle is going to like film some stuff, so she's able to take Halo with her to Italy to be able to do the recording. Halle also requested that DDG be barred from discussing her on social media platforms, including his live streams, especially when he did his May 5th Twitch live stream, which he broadcasted while Halle was at the Met Gala. And he went live on his Twitch voicing how he was not able to see his son, implying that Halle was keeping Halo away from him. And he created a firestorm basically. And a bunch of people were like, free Halo on the internet. And she recognized that he was doing this for the attention and to ruin her night, which she did say it did. But she wants to be sure that this no longer happens again. And that she basically asked that he keep her name out his fucking mouth.
And their son off of streaming. Like, don't
That
mention
too.
us at all.
At all. You
Yeah.
don't know us? You haven't seen us.
Yeah. Very sad stories. Very sad what she alleges and what she's been through. And there's other stories coming out now that I guess were there in the beginning. I don't, this is a generation like below, under me, youth wise, but apparently the last person he dated who was famous also alleged abuse. So there's some people who are like, this is a clear pattern and Haley should have seen it, but it doesn't matter because he shouldn't be abusing any women
Mm-hmm.
that he's with. And yeah, this is just, I mean, it's just really sad just to see and how prevalent this is with celebrities, without celebrities, like just in life. And then the general attitudes towards that, whether that's men or women, or people who are expressing like, well, she should have, Cassie, well, she should have left, or Haley, she should have left. It's always she should have left. It's never the abuser's fault in these cases.
Yep.
So the internet's very nasty right now, with this, and it's sad to see. Yeah, prayers for all. Well, most of the people involved. Prayers to the victims.
Yes.
Prayers to the victims. Because
Yes.
it's nuts, to say the least. So. All right, let's move on to something happier.
Yes.
Category is lesbian super moms. I saw this. I was like, we
Yay.
are pulling this. We just celebrated Mother's Day this past Sunday. So love this story. A 21-year study found that donor conceived adults that were raised by lesbian parents are as well adjusted as any other group, with over 80% scoring within the normal range for behavioral health at all stages.
All
So
stages.
all stages.
Okay.
The type of sperm donor, anonymous, known, or open identity, and the level of contact with the donor did not affect the mental health or behavioral outcomes for these adults. So it doesn't matter if, how they were conceived or if they know of their donor, all positive outcomes. The biggest key factor was family stability, which is probably for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
uh, rather than donor type or contact, was identified as a key factor in reducing behavioral challenges and supporting well-being. This study highlights the psychological resilience and adaptive strategies developed by the donor conceived individuals in lesbian parent families, especially in the face of societal stigma. And researchers recommend that parents support their children's exploration of identity and family connections and urge policymakers to use these findings to better support LGBTQ plus families amid current political backlash. So, long study, 21-year study. The kids are all right.
The kids are
Lesbians
all
doing
right.
great. We're doing all right. So,
All right.
happy to
I
see it.
love this. I love
Yeah.
this for us.
Stability.
So
How
now,
about that? Family
okay.
stability. Main
Wow.
factor. That's all
Wild what
people want.
happens. when we're able to do that because we are
Mhm.
fully capable.
Yeah.
We
Shout
love
out to
data.
us.
We love data.
Shout out to us. 21 years,
Okay.
so great
Wow.
study.
Look at
Hmm.
that. The children are fine.
Yeah.
We love this. All right. Well, let's go ahead into our final category. As we've been saying this, I will own that it has taken me an immense amount of time to get
Month. This is the slowest developing,
you allow
but
me
it
to
kind of
own.
went with the season
You allow
because
me
it
to
was a
own.
slow season,
It was
developing
a lesbian
season.
season.
It
It was a
was. There was a lot
lesbian
of
season.
tension. A
So
lot of
much
tension.
tension. And I have to say, not for a big punch in
The
the finish.
payoff. Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't,
How'd you
it
feel?
was
Tell
unnecessary
us.
tension. Kris, when I tell you how mad I was when I knew, like, I saw where the episode was going to end, and I
Mm-hmm.
just said,
Hold on.
cool. Also,
Category is White
category is
Lotus review.
I was like,
White
wait,
Lotus review.
I'm jumping in. Yes. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert. If you haven't seen The White Lotus, I mean, you've had time.
Spoiler, spoiler. It's been over a
I've
month.
taken
So.
I've taken my sweet time watching it,
Mhm.
apparently, and then Kris had to remind me to finish it. And I sat and watched it today and got it done. So it's fresh. The last few episodes are
Mhm.
very fresh because I literally just
Good,
finished
good,
them
good.
like an hour and a half ago. So first of all,
Okay.
what the fuck type of ending was that?
I know.
You start the season off with the gun shooting scene with her
Hmm.
son, with Natasha Rothwell's son. I don't have any of the character names. I'm just like, here's
It's
the people.
okay.
Natasha Rothwell's son in the show, fucking jumping in the water, shooting everywhere. I was like, man, this is going to be a phenomenal ending. It is going to be great. We're going to have all of this drama, all of the things. No, this man loses his life after he figures out that this random Asian man is his father and he shoots his father. And then his girl, who has just
I
been
don't
trying to
even
be
think
here
he was
for him the
Asian.
whole time.
He was just some
I
white
don't either.
dude out in
Just
Thailand.
out there, out in Thailand, carrying the girl who he has shown no appreciation for the whole time. Like, no,
Mm-mm.
we're going out together. So I'm going to
Yeah,
walk slowly down the plank while the most innocent
Chelsea
human
predicted
has to
this.
shoot you in the back. Are you fucking kidding me? You two are the only ones after Homeboy who fucking accidentally poisoned his son, lived. I was
I
over here
mean,
like, Lachlan, you should have died. Because you know what you
Lachlan
did.
should have absolutely
Lachlan
died.
should have absolutely died. I'm like, sir,
Absolutely
not
died.
you trying to justify why you jerked off your brother to say, well, you looked left out.
I know. I was like, this goes beyond people pleasing. But let's start with the father. We'll jump. So, the family, the Lachlan
Yeah.
family, fucked up.
Mm-hmm. Fucked
Um,
up.
Fucked up. I thought it was so interesting, the episodes of basically him deciding after coming out of his just little Razapam, just, just cloud for a couple episodes, him basically trying to decide, does he kill himself? Does he kill one other person? Does he kill his wife? Does he kill the whole
The
family?
numbers just
He
kept going
decided,
up.
yeah, he was
The
just
numbers
trying
kept
to
going up.
envision different scenarios.
He
He was
said,
asking them
I'm
questions
gonna
about like,
leave.
could you live without money? And like got different responses. His wife was basically like,
She
fuck
said,
no.
absolutely not. She said, I
Absolutely not.
live a
I
wonderful
am too
life.
old to be doing this. Like, this
Okay.
is not the life I should have to do. So,
Mm-mm.
anyways, I hated that it made no sense to me that, okay, he decides he's going to take the suicide seeds that I think it's kind of wild that they just have around, but obviously they don't think people should just be taking these
Right.
seeds that can kill you and kill yourself. But I thought it was wild that while he decided to put in the pina coladas and have this weird well, let's all drink it. And then he aborted that and was like, no, I don't want to kill my family. Will kill everybody but Lachlan, who gave a good answer. So he decided to spare him.
To spare
Um,
him, but then
which is nuts.
traumatize him if they had committed.
But see, here's the thing. Why abort it and then not wash out this blender that has gotten so much work in the time that y'all been on this vacation? They use that blender every day. You make
Multiple
this
times a
whole
day.
poison concoction and then you decide to abort mission like, no, nobody drank it, nobody drank it. He didn't want to kill his family. And then he goes to bed, like he leaves the poison in the sink in the blender. Like he doesn't clean it up at all. So that was just like
That
crazy to
man
me.
was going through a trauma response in the moment, and he could not think of anything else except let me get rid of
But
the
you,
main
the
evidence.
poison is still
He's
here.
not thinking
Like
about it.
it's
He's
just
not thinking
like
about
it
it.
doesn't
He
make
said, I
any
got rid of
sense.
it
It
because I
makes
got rid
zero
of the
sense. He
one
went to
that I
go
gave to
go to
him.
bed and everything. I'm
Yep.
like, yo. Like
He
this
said,
doesn't
I'm
make any
sleeping
sense.
peacefully because I didn't kill my family. And all of the rest of the stuff, forgotten. Like, I don't even know.
It,
I feel like
but
he
even in
woke
that
up in the
scene,
clothes he
didn't
was
they
still
were like,
wearing.
just get wine or something else because they were like, this
Yes.
is,
And so
what
that's
the
what
hell
he
is
did.
this?
All he did was pivot to getting wine. Like, he was so gone that he was like, I can't believe I almost killed my family. His first thought, realistically, I'm going to vouch for this because his first thought is not going to be, let me clean up the evidence, which is wild.
Well, well, if
It
even if
should
it's not
be
the first shot, don't go to bed after you decide to not kill your family with the
that
poison
part.
and all that. Like, I don't care in what order he did it. Like, maybe he doesn't go to bust some suds immediately, but like you knew what you did or tried to do, and that you
Yeah.
aborted this. And then again, like that blender was a supporting character this season. That blender got work every
That blender,
morning all the time.
that blender
So it
was
was
it.
just wild to me because again, you're the only one that knows that you use these seeds to try and make this pina colada concoction, Jonestown adjacent thing. And then for you to abort mission because you decide I don't want to kill my family anymore. But then to like not clean up everything is like, I don't know, wild to me, but okay. But Lachlan should have absolutely died. I was very mad that he didn't die because I was like, the dad should have to face something for this.
Yes.
But ultimately, the final scene of them uh them getting like turning their phones on and you only saw the older boy's reaction of him looking up, but like you don't see, I wanted to see Victoria or the mom's reaction. Some people were like would love to see her in another season
Mm-hmm.
divorced from him because she's not going to stay poor, like that's not her
Yeah.
life
No, she's
uh
definitely not.
at all. And I
She
guess
knows
that was
she knows some
supposed to
men in
be
North
the
Carolina.
punishment, is that they're now embarrassed and going home to scandal and loss of money, and probably jail time was supposed to be their ultimate punishment. But I thought
Mm-hmm.
Lachlan should have absolutely died. Like he should
Yeah.
have died. So I was disappointed
Fully
he
should
didn't
have
die.
died. Fully should
Yeah.
have died. I'm like, y'all set up this whole beautiful. He looks up and he sees the Buddhists and all of the things as he's
Yeah.
going down. And I was like, let him go. And then
Yeah.
once the eyes started twitching, I was like, shut the fuck up. This man is alive.
So mad.
He ate, he ate enough. He ate
Yeah.
more than enough.
Yeah,
And
he
you're
really
telling me
did.
that he's gonna live?
Yeah, he
That's
drank that
wild.
whole thing or
That's
most of it.
wild.
Um Also, the first off, Parker Posey, what an amazing season. Love Parker Posey. Taiwan, like she's just funny all season. But I thought it was interesting with the daughter, the dialogue between Parker Posey, Victoria Ratliff, and the daughter after she found out that like the daughter aborted doing the
That
whole
pissed me off too.
that did too.
That pissed me
But
off so much.
that dialogue was one of those, ooh, this is good, but ooh, like people are gonna use this. Basically, like the whole spiel of like this is the best time for us to be living in, and like we
Yeah.
don't need, like we should enjoy it. I was like, oh, there's gonna be some people, white people, who are like, oh, exactly.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
don't give them ammo to be like, oh, we shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
It would be disrespectful not to take this up, but I wasn't surprised that the daughter, changed her mind with things. That whole family's fucked up. That entire family is fucked up. So,
Yeah.
woof.
Yeah. Patrick Schwarzenegger.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He did such a good job of making me hate him that like when I saw him as a normal person on like the Met Gala interview and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, oh no, he's like very sweet. He
Yeah,
seems very kind. Wow, he did great with that character because I
he
hated
did a really good job.
excuse me,
Bless you.
hated his character
Mm-hmm.
and wanted the fact that he pulled in at the end also like all of these revelations that just happened in the last episode where he was just like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna sit down and read this spirituality book
Mm-hmm.
and meditate. And I'm like, sir,
Yeah.
are you, you don't
So I
go.
went to Duke. Of course I could read it.
He's like, I
Um,
could read. She was like, I read through it fast. Well, I went to do. Shut the fuck up.
yeah.
Shut the fuck up and
Yeah.
leave. Oh,
That's
so
something they would say.
you are fine committing to getting jerked off by your brother, but you're not fine
Mm,
with hooking
mm,
up with
mm, mm,
homegirl while homeboy watches. I just don't
mm,
understand the
mm, mm, mm.
balance there. Like,
Yeah.
yes, you got sick over it afterwards. I did think the worship line where he was just like, I know you worship me, but I don't need you to like worship me. And I was like,
Hmm.
that was a good line.
I mean, yeah,
That was a
given
good
their
breakdown.
family dynamics, my God.
Okay.
But I also thought it was interesting that towards in and after his moments, with Chelsea pointing out like, oh, drugs have never made me want to fuck my brother. But
That part.
Chelsea wanted to change Rick so bad, but she ended up changing Patrick Schwarzenegger's character. Like he really liked her, and if she could actually see, like she was having some effect on him, like the everything she wanted Rick to turn into, like Patrick, what was his character? Saxon was
Mm.
slowly like, kind of light bulbish. Like he's like doing some soul searching after that, which he should. Um, but he obviously had a thing for Chelsea, but Chelsea only had eyes for Rick. And as we
Yep.
discussed,
And
like
look what happened.
Chelsea locked in. I was so mad at her. Rick, it was crazy to me that he went to kill he didn't know he was his dad at the time, but he did know he owned the hotel he was staying at. So for him to not kill the man and then go back to the hotel and not leave immediately
Right.
was also nuts. That was
Like
the
he should have
second thing
already
that was
had the
just
flight
nuts.
out and
Chelsea,
ready to
let's
go.
go. Let's get out of here.
Like
Let's
we
get
need
out
to
of here.
leave. Like
We
you
gotta
thought
go.
you could come here and have your little donut stand breakfast and be
Yeah.
fine?
This whole season, and I mean White Lotus in general is just like white audacity, but him to just come back and be like, ah, yeah, I decided not to kill that man. It's okay. Like they were chilling, like he was at peace. Then
Uh-huh.
his daddy rolled up to him the next morning, and his daddy was also a piece of shit and told him that the guy that he was gonna kill, that was his dad, and then talked shit about his mom, brandished his weapon, talked cash shit to him in his face and everything. And of course, Rick loses it, doesn't care, has no impulse control, ends up, shooting and killing his dad, and then the bodyguards shoot at Rick, and of course Chelsea. He told Chelsea not to be around there, but she was going to be with Rick no matter what. I mean, I'm surprised she
Mm-hmm.
didn't go to Bangkok with him. By the way, how did you think? What did you think of the Sam Rockwell scene? His friend, remember when he was getting drink with his friends, and Sam Rockwell was telling him about his time in Thailand and having sex all the time, and then he was having
Mm-hmm.
gay sex, and then he that whole monologue was just like okay,
That,
and then the face of Rick just the whole time like
uh-huh.
it's like what do
Because
I
it
say to
just
this?
sounded like an ayahuasca trip that he
It
had.
did.
Like it didn't sound like it really happened. It just sounded like he had gone on some sort of trip to make him feel like he needed to be the Asian woman,
Yeah,
but wasn't, but was.
yeah.
And I was like, huh, fascinating. So I'm like, you're telling me also to that point, you're telling me you could tell that whole story of whatever sexual journey you were on, but
Hmm.
you couldn't get
You couldn't
any
be a
notes
director.
before going in and pretending to be a director?
Yeah, they didn't practice that at
You
all.
couldn't draw
At
me
all.
in the way that you drew me in for your story of your sexual
Yeah.
awakening to pretend to be a director. Are you joking? Sir,
Yeah, no, that was that
sir.
was that story was from the heart, and obviously that's Rick's fault for not for not preparing him at all. He tried,
That's also his
but
fault for
he was
not
just
asking no
like,
questions.
let's watch a movie. Rick didn't give him any look. He probably is used to Rick putting him in certain situations, maybe not that one, but Rick, that's on Rick and all
Rick
that
drove
shit.
him to
Like, let
drink
your
again.
boy know. He was like,
This
let's
man
yeah,
hadn't
right,
been
exactly. He
drinking,
was like, let me just
drove
drink.
him
This
right to
is
two
actually a
drinks
great time
in this
to get
moment.
off the wagon. So that was interesting. What'd you think of the friend group?
Oh, my Delulu trio,
Mm-hmm.
of all Delulus,
Mm-hmm.
my goodness. First of all, y'all hate each other. Why were you on
All
this
three
trip
of them.
together?
All three of
All
them.
of you hate each other for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And the one, the tall blonde with the bob, I forget her name. But
Yeah.
the one with the bob who tried to make it seem like, oh, I am Miss Perfect, so
The
I'm just gonna
Republican
bounce
one.
back and forth between the two. Yes, the
Kate.
Republican one.
Kate.
Kate,
Yeah,
because
I had
that
to
is
pull it
what
up.
your name
Kate.
would be, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That Bob was
and
also a
then
supporting character in the show.
okay,
That Bob
because
did
it
a great
and the
job.
sunglasses and those sunglasses,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
also a supporting character.
Yeah.
And then who was the actress?
The actress was Jacqueline, and then the other friend was Lori, was the lawyer. So Jacqueline was the
Lori.
actress.
Lori's Jacqueline acted exactly how I expected Jacqueline to act. And the two
Yeah.
friends at the start acted exactly like friends who would be friends with a famous superstar,
Yep.
whatever. But then Lori, man, you hopped on that dick first after she was like, I'm
Oh
putting in all this
no.
work. You're hyping me up. Don't hype me up. Don't gas me up. And then she said, you got on that dick? You got on that dick? Like that's literally what her reaction felt like. And then she had to go and run all, not her almost getting scammed, getting beat in the head by, I don't know if they were from Slovenia or Russia or
Russia.
Czechoslovakia, where they
They were
were from.
Russian.
She got beat in the head trying to jump out, and then she just walks. I'm like, do none of y'all feel like you're in danger in other places
No,
as you're
not white
walking down the
people.
street?
Not white people.
That girl, that was a Russian woman in a one-piece outfit. I was waiting for her to come sprinting down the street to murder her.
Mm,
And that's what I hoped would happen. I wanted her to get jumped by that Russian woman. But
Yeah,
no,
that
she
Russian woman
casually
is
got into a taxi after a
probably
homeboy tried to
used to
get
that guy.
$10,000 out of her. And
Yeah,
then what
that
didn't
was
she
funny.
also,
Now that
did
was funny.
she or did she not take the jewelry that he stole? Did she take it
I
as
thought
she
she
left?
did. I thought she did.
Because then what happened with it?
That was not tied up.
What
It's
happened? Because I was
missing.
sitting there, I was like,
Yeah.
girl, what? Y'all
Yeah.
missed that. Nobody said what happened. I was like, did she slide it in her bag or no? Did she notice it or no? I think she did. I think she took it with her and then she jumped out. So it's like, did
Yeah, it
you
was
just
very
now steal
odd.
it?
It's really interesting. Yeah, her Lori's monologue at the end was good, but it's just like, okay, she's, I think it's realistic in the fact that like they just are just gonna be terrible friends and
Yep.
continue on and all that.
In the
Also,
state of
very
Delulu.
crazy. Jacqueline couldn't just admit that she fucked dude. She was so OD
She could
about
have.
Lori fucking this guy. She should have just said like, well, okay, if you're not gonna fuck him, I'm gonna fuck him. Like, I don't know why. And this is just speaking to women dynamics, like why she felt like she had to die with a lie, which I think made Lori spiral even more because a part of it I was just like, Lori, how Jacqueline gets down, but also she kind of carried on the anger, but the anger was because she just wanted a minute where it's just like, yo, I saw you. Like, I know y'all fucked.
Hmm.
But then I was gonna say it took Lori out of her character, but that probably was actually Lori's character. So those three friends deserve each other. And yeah, I was like, okay, y'all got it. Let's see, who else is there? Natasha, Natasha Rothwell, Belinda, justice for Belinda.
Natasha.
Got it. She got
Girl,
it.
I the ultimate winner
Yeah,
of this season. And she did all of the things correct. And it
yeah.
was brilliant to see. I was like, first of all, I love that she got to Thailand and she got to learn some stuff, but she also got some dick. And I love that for
Yep,
her.
got some
From
loving, all
a
that.
genuine, lovely person. And then she was just like, all right, you know what? Got some money in the bank. I gotta go. Gotta
Mm-hmm.
go. Gotta go. I
Yeah.
love that
You
she,
missed the discourse with that. That's annoying. Because they were like, oh,
what
she
was the
turned into
discourse?
Belinda. She turned into Belinda. And I was like, no, she didn't.
No, she didn't.
She did it. She did
Because first of all,
it.
Belinda was in a relationship, is in a whole relationship.
Hmm.
Joshua Rothwell is not. She deserves. She works hard. She gets to go and have some things. And she communicated to her guy that, like, hey, some things in my life have changed. I
Yeah.
gotta go. She did all the right
Yeah.
healthy things. Like,
Yeah.
yes,
I'm
he was
sorry. She
sad.
turned into Tanya, not Belinda. People were saying she turned into Tanya with it. And I was like, no, she just met
No,
that guy. But also, she didn't promise that they were going to
anything.
do this business together. She didn't promise anything at
Nope.
all. Yeah, I was like, no, Belinda
Mm-mm.
and Tanya, that parallel is not there. But
Nope,
they
it's
were trying to
not.
make it, and I was like, no, Tanya, like, she
That's a
had the
reach.
girl write up a business plan and everything, and just was kind of
Yes.
like,
And then disappeared and then
yeah,
got murdered.
hey, I'm sorry, yeah, by Gary or Greg,
Yep.
whatever, Gary Greg, as he. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to him, Gary Gregg, and Belinda. If Belinda comes back in some sort of way on another season, but I'm glad she got her money. Her son was getting on my nerves. I didn't really like the dialogue for him. The actor was cute, but I felt like his dialogue was really, I don't know. I just didn't like it.
Hmm.
But I did like that he and her like did the good cop bad cop to get more money because yeah,
Well,
she
I
was.
mean, she did have to go and get him to calm the fuck down. She was like, look, I like what you did. I like the research that you did.
Hmm.
Smart. Comes out here, do this, say this, make this happen.
Yeah,
She's like, I am not an idiot. And I was like, I love
yeah.
this
She's
part
like,
of her.
hey, good so far, but
Yes. I got notes.
dial it back.
We'll process it back once you get
Uh-huh.
this money,
Mm-hmm. And
and
did.
then we'll make it work. And she
And
did the
did.
smart thing where she was just like, yep, and I'm leaving immediately.
I'm
I'm
getting
not
the
living.
fuck out of here.
I'm not staying
Exactly.
here so that he has
Exactly.
access to me. I'm like, girl,
Crazy.
homeboy goes back to the hotel.
Hangs
Rick
out.
goes back to the hotel and hangs out. Like, oh yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow. No, sir,
Yeah.
you are leaving that day. She goes and she's like, I'm not staying any longer.
Yeah. I
We
gotta
are
go.
leaving. We are
Yeah.
leaving. And then reminds
Sorry,
him
poor
where he's
Chai.
like, are you going to start the business? And I feel like that was a perfect moment for her to be like, for her to say the, damn, can I be rich for a minute? And I'm like, yes, bitch, because you deserve,
Yeah.
because Black women deserve to go and
Hmm.
be rich for a minute. She's like, nah, I don't have to say shit. You put that in my account. I am out of here. You will not be able to find me, see me, nothing. I'm gonna go just be rich and live my best life. Thank you so much.
Hmm. Yeah, I was happy for her. She deserved all of that. So,
Hmm.
um, shout out to Guy Talk. Probably the worst bodyguard who got a promotion at the end. So at the end of all this,
I love it. I feel
um,
like he's only the driver.
yeah,
Like he's not doing anything else. I mean, good for him for aiming
yeah.
and
Look,
hitting
he probably has a
twice.
gun, but she had to tell him the wife had to tell him, the lady, I'm forgetting her name, but she was like, shoot him, shoot him. Like she had to tell
Yeah.
him 17,
She's
17
like,
times
kill
to shoot him.
him.
Yeah,
And he's like,
like
but
it's the
Buddha.
worst. Right. I know. I let's see, is there anybody else that yeah, what are so overall, what did you think of the season?
I thought this was the worst season.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, that's pretty much
like,
everybody's
yeah,
sentiment of it.
tension. But I'm like, man, you had such an opportunity with this Thailand season for so many things to happen, so many stuff. And like there were blips of things that I was very entertained by, or like the
Hmm.
messiness and things like that. But I was just like, this was just prime white chaos.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was
She
just white
is White
chaos.
Lotus, but like I appreciated some parts of this season. There were a lot of memorable lines and dialogue in this
Yes.
one. But it's hard to after coming after Italy, like it was hard because season two
Italy
was
was
the best.
good.
Really good.
Italy was
Really
good.
good. Yeah. So we'll see what happens next. This was, you know, certainly the weaker out of the three seasons, but I thought
Yeah,
it's entertaining. The White Lotus. It'll just be interesting to see where we go with
it
things,
will. It will.
and where it'll be next. So, all right, let's move along to our advice segment. Am I a bad queer? Where we get real about your questions and dilemmas. Got something on your mind? Don't keep it to yourself. Send your questions to backwards.com. Hit us up on IG at backwardspod or email us at backwards@backwards.com. All right. Let's see. This first one is from Amy. Amy asked, "Hey y'all, love the pod. Thanks for reading this. I'm a bisexual woman dating a straight man, and my queer friends keep joking that I've gone straight again. Rather than acknowledging my bisexuality, I laugh it off, but it stings. I'm still me. I'm still bi. I'm still active in queer spaces. Am I a bad queer for feeling pushed away from my community just because of who I'm dating right now? Amy." Amy, your friends are bad queers, because you are just acting as your sexual orientation is. Like, what did they think this was gonna be?
Right.
Um, it's yeah, it's weird. They're bad queers. You're not a bad queer for feeling pushed out, and don't feel pushed out. But also, I wonder. It's difficult to know if like your friends are doing this because they know it's a sore spot and they're just being assholes, but like loving assholes like friends could
Mm-hmm.
do, or if like they dead ass are a little are biphobic and just kind of masking it with jokes. So I think you should try and determine that. But you should also tell them like, okay, enough. We get it. And like, do you know how bisexuality works, y'all? Do I need to
Right.
tell y'all? Like, what the fuck? So they're bad queers. I think you should let them know how you're feeling about this. Like, enough. I got it. And that you don't like these jokes. Like it might have been funny the first two times, if that, but like y'all are y'all are beating this dead horse. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, let them know and push back on that. Don't be pushed away. Push back.
Pushback.
Push
That's your
back.
line.
Hmm.
Amy, if you need the one liner that just says, hey, Amy's friends, you all are the bad queers, not Amy, you could play that on repeat. I give
Yeah.
full permission because that's, as Kris said, like there are no notes. That's what it is. They are the bad queers because it's like you could also make the joke of, but are y'all really queer if you don't understand bisexuality? It's
Yeah.
wild. Wild.
What is this? The 90s? Like they're
Right.
being really dated with this. Like, all right. So I don't understand what the issue is here, but
Yeah. And especially
tell
because you're
them.
still active in the space. It's not like you've just disappeared and acquired all these new straight friends and doing all these things. You're still living in queer culture.
Yeah.
So friends are just haters.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's it.
Hope that
Thanks for
helps. Happy
writing in.
Pride.
All right. This next one comes from Lamar. Lamar says, am I a bad queer? I am a black gay man, and my white boyfriend has a lot of queer friends, but no black ones. To paint the picture a bit, He and I recently made it official and started meeting each other's friends more. I realized that his friend group all looks similar. So I called it out and he got defensive. Am I a bad queer for questioning whether he really understands the weight of dating me? Lamar, I would say that you're a bad queer for not seeing the signs
Oh,
that he shouldn't be dating you.
yeah. You didn't see his friends before?
Like, I understand that,
You
like,
see?
you're official, so now you're meeting more friends. But honestly, this is why. So I used to be the person where it was like I would date the person and then my friends would only meet them once I started dating them. But I have realized the importance of having that pulse check with your friends because they will pick up on the things that you are not paying attention to because you're in la la land of love and attention and affection. But your friends can
Hmm.
stop and be like, yeah, but then they said that thing. You want to check in on that? You want to see the thing? So glad that you all have finally made it there, but you may have to do some evaluation because if your partner is getting defensive instead of stating, I know it's an area that like I'm working on, or I grew up in this very white town, I promise you'll meet some of these friends and they're more diverse and blah blah blah. But instead, they just fought back. That's a big red flag, my guy.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like they want to make any changes. Doesn't sound like they want to improve. Don't even know how they ended up with you, but
Yeah. How'd y'all meet?
right?
You didn't know this? Like, you know, in my experience, I
I
only
was like,
talk about
Grinder
from
is a
my
wild place.
experience.
Grinder is a wild place.
Um, I feel like you could kind of tell if it's going to be a white person that doesn't have a very diverse group. So, yeah. I mean, in my experiences, like not that it's 100% proof, but all the white people I've met, like you could kind of tell in just different ways, like whether it's socially or just how they act or interact with things, like if their group all looks like them, if it's all white group that they're around, or if they do have a diverse group. But um, you know, I don't know if he understands the weight of dating you, but this is also not enough information. So I don't know. See what
I don't think
happens
he
here,
does.
Lamar. I
I
think you
don't
should
think he
be
does.
prepared to not date this person.
This is our
You
get
know,
out moment.
yeah, yeah. At least before it gets too deep. So more questions to ask. See his friend group. You know, see if that's someone you want to be around. Because not to say that these might be white folks that are more socially aware and are good quote unquote, but I don't know, Lamar. I don't I don't know if I could do it. Very get out to me, but to each his own. So mm, good luck.
Good
mm,
luck.
mm.
Too
Shayna, I
funny.
have a offline question to ask you about Chicago that I won't ask on here, but this reminded me to ask you. So
Oh
thank you, Lamar,
boy.
for this because I forgot to ask this after my Chicago trip. Very excited to ask this once I
Oh
get home.
wow. See, now all the people are
Um,
like, you gotta ask it. And I'm like,
well, maybe I'll ask you on a Heart Life Volume 3.
oh, I hate it. Oh, I hate this
But
here already.
yeah, so I
Oh,
won't
I
I
hate
won't
it here
ask you.
already.
I won't put you on the
All right.
spot because
Thank
yeah,
you.
like, I don't
I
think it
appreciate that. I take it back.
yeah, you gotta
Nobody can
look
know.
out.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
I don't
much.
want to, you know. I was like, I could content clip this up.
Yeah.
Okay, this last one is from Anonymous. We'll call them Gary.
Hey, Gary.
Gary asked, "Am I a bad queer? I am queer, and my boss is a very flamboyant gay man. He thought we would hit it off immediately when he hired me, and I truly want nothing to do with him outside of clocking in and out, which is great. That's me.
Yeah,
My
boundaries.
people. My people, Gary. He noticed this and started to act a little, I hate to say it, sassy towards me, and it's causing my workspace to become frustrating. How do I manage my manager who is upset we can't be friends? Gary.
Mm,
Oof.
mm.
That's tough. Um, mm, because Gary, there is a work game to be played here that you don't have to play it, but there is a work game to be played of like, being cordial at work and then, you know, maybe swim moving the advances to hang out. I don't know. Ask if there's a problem. I don't know. I don't know how to handle this. You can't go to HR because HR is the company.
Right.
Um, and probably wouldn't help out anyway. Oof. I don't know if it's like if they're sassy because you don't want to be friends with them. This seems like it could be a little more. They might have been like, mm, this is a mark here. And you're not playing
Mm-hmm.
into it.
Mm.
So this is sticky. I don't know, Shayna, what do you
It's
think?
getting sticky.
Hmm.
Yeah, all right. So, how much do you like your job?
Yeah, yeah.
It's the
It's a
main question.
very,
This is the main question.
very scary times
How much do you like your
with
job? I
jobs.
understand that right now is the
Not
hardest
the
time to
best.
be like employed. So if you have to stick around, I kind of agree with Kris, especially if there's not an opportunity for you to go on to another team or doing all the things. There is a way to just move through and be cordial
Hmm.
and keep it pushing so that you
Just
don't have to
enough.
break your boundaries of how you engage at work, but every once in a while you could just bring up something that you're watching. Bring up something kind and just like
Hmm.
a simple, like easy thing that won't push it past like let's get to the point that we're going to hang out. Like no, you're not giving expectations. You're just giving a little bit. And since you just started at this job, I am assuming that you would like to stay at this job at least for a year or two before you shift into
Hmm.
your next job. But if you don't like your job, then truly just fucking keep
Leave.
it pushing.
Get
Keep it
out.
pushing, do the things. But yeah, if you're sticking around for a bit, I would say one option is to make sure that you just kind of be respectful, be polite, do the things, and find your internal advocates as well who will help you navigate these conversations because you probably don't have the capacity. And there are always going to be people who have worked with that person longer and can give you the talking points, can give you the ways to just maneuver through the conversations. I have to source out colleagues and mentors and sponsors within my job all the time to make sure that I have, like, I'll have my script and they will script it for that person so that it
Yeah.
works. And being able to have those internal advocates makes your job a lot better as well. And just being able to have like your work bestie and all those things, they make the job so much easier. So lean into those people. And then just try and keep your meetings to a minimum as much as possible. If it's a virtual or if you work remote, if you're in person, bit harder. But again,
Yeah.
lean on your people,
This
do
sounds
your
like in
thing.
person because I would have been like, oh, if it's
Yep.
virtual. Mm-mm.
Virtual,
Yeah.
just less meetings doing the things. But if it's in
Hmm.
person, just keep every once in a while, just bring something up and then keep it pushing.
I like what you said about like bringing up TV shows because like maybe there's a bone you can throw him where it's like, hey, we could be friendly non-work things, but not like I don't want to hang out. Or you could say and take the chance of which it shouldn't get you in any trouble, but just be like, I don't really hang out with coworkers outside work. Like, and that would just be a thing that is like it's not you, it is me, but it's also like I just don't fraternize outside of work. For
Yep.
many reasons. And you don't even have to give them reasons, but then you could be like, oh, like Shayna said, like talk about bond over a TV show or something that requires you to do bare mims and all that. So, but you don't have to hang out with this person, and you could actually use the line of like, I'm not comfortable hanging out with people outside of work, and they just have to be okay with it. Or make
Yep.
sure you make friends with his boss, so it's like
Yes.
you
And
leapfrog
that makes
him,
it,
and
that is also a good tactic
hmm
and
hmm
something I've done before. So it
yeah,
does work.
it's
It
a
does
game to
work.
be played. It's a game
Okay.
to be played. You got to play it. You don't have to play it, but there's a gamesmanship to work. So good luck. That is something. All right, that's it for this week's Am I a Bad Queer? Send your questions to badqueers.com. Hit us up on IG at badqueerspod or email us at badqueers@badqueers.com.
All right. What type of bad queers will we be if we didn't have unpopular queer opinions? My bad queer opinion for this week, I've seen this happen multiple times, friends and strangers. And, there's a lot of people who go on and post photos, and I say photos loosely, post photos of the people that they are dating or talking to, but then post photos that do not show their face. And I know that previously it used to be like an anonymous thing or like, I'm just trying to be respectful. I'm just doing a little teaser, just building up to the reveal and all of that. But now it's a bit toxic. And I don't know if the queer community recognizes that that's what that it's a toxic move. It's a toxic move
Mm.
when you're coming in and being like, "Oh yeah, this person is it. They're bae, they're her, they're whatever." It's a toxic move to be able to do that. And honestly, if you're going to claim a person, just claim them. Just claim them.
Mm.
We're in an age where we got to be out and proud at this point, but I keep seeing that. I was like, straight folks, this applies to you as well. This is all encompassing, but I've seen it more with the queer community, and I'm like, we that is something we do not need to pick up from the straight community. If you're
And what
gonna
is
show
it?
off
Like
your
hiding
boo,
the face of
yes, it's like, like
maybe?
when like you're just holding hands, or like it's
Mm-hmm.
part of their face and they're like laying
Mm-hmm.
on your lap, or they go and
A
like
little
take a picture
artsy.
of like the back of them, and it's like it's not
Uh-huh.
even arts, like some of it isn't
It's
even
not artsy
artsy.
anymore.
It's not because it's
Yeah.
not like you're doing it like, oh, we're on a museum date and here's like the back of my like new boo. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like it's like you have evidence that you're doing something
Mm-hmm.
and you're trying to prove it to the people, or some folks are doing it as a way to be like, no, I care, and so I'm posting this, and it's just like,
Mm.
do you really care if you're going to post that and then you don't post any faces or anything with you in it to
Yeah.
prove the things? It's just stop hiding the faces of the people you're dating when
Just do it or
you do
don't
that.
do
Just
it
do it or
kind of
don't,
thing.
because it's a
Yeah.
mess. It's a mess. Like when you sit there and try to make it mysterious, all you're doing is trying to drum up drama around you,
Yeah.
and it's
O-
obnoxious. So stop it.
Or if you want to make it mysterious, take it to another level. Let's do a puzzle. Like just do pieces that you release every day or whatever the rollout will be. It's like an 8 week rollout where
Right.
and then it'll be a whole picture like on your Instagram of like, oh, that's who it is. But okay, I see what you mean with it. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's getting old. I think you should either post them or don't. Like it's
Post them or
just
don't. Post them or don't. Like I remember one time I was talking to someone and we were like
hmm.
on dates and stuff, and she
Look at you
took
fixing
a
it up. You were like,
video.
we were dead talking.
We were dating. We were talking. We were talking. We didn't get that far. I was
Okay.
like, that would have been generous to say we were dating.
Mm.
But we were walking and like holding hands, and she took like a video of it. I didn't know that she put a video of it, but then she put a video of it up on her story later to like drive all this mystery and stuff. And I was just like, oh, I don't think this is gonna work, because clearly you just live for the drama of the
Yeah.
stuff just to like drum up conversation. And I'm just like, no,
Yeah. Yeah, no.
no.
That is certainly a red flag. So,
Okay. I'm like, do it or don't.
yeah.
Do it or
Yeah.
don't.
Do it or don't, or take it to the next level. The
Puzzle
highest
pieces.
of level.
The
Puzzle
puzzle
pieces.
pieces.
Puzzle pieces. Yep. Those are the options. Do it, don't do it, or puzzle
Puzzle
pieces.
pieces.
Like or a proper rollout. A
Yep.
proper rollout. I love it. My bad queer opinion. This is something that happened a couple weeks back, but we didn't get to talk about. I don't know if you saw it. There was a trans woman in Houston that published a list of DL men in Houston that
Oh, I
she was
did not
dealing
see
with.
it.
Yeah, she did. It disappeared, obviously, from online. And I haven't seen any updates of it. There was a lot of discourse back and forth with it. While I'm okay, and I had mentioned before as a bad queer opinion that I'm okay with celebrities or people who or musicians and everybody who's like passed on, and if like their friends or somebody close to them outs them, I'm okay with that. But I'm not okay with just like general outing. Like I don't think this helps anybody for her to be publishing this list of Houston men that have been in her DMs. I don't know the reason. I don't know why this was prompted. I just don't think this is a good idea. I'm not for
Yeah.
outing anybody. I think that's very dangerous to everyone involved. And again, I don't know what spurred this. And in some cases, I actually will say I'm okay with outing if like provoked. Like if there
Mm-hmm.
was some man that was just trying to deny, or whatever. I'm okay with like the receipts of that, but just general, like putting out a list of people who hit on you and stuff like that. Like I'm not okay with that. Like I think that's dangerous
Yeah.
and all that. So, woof,
Yeah,
don't do
that's
that, y'all.
that's definitely a safety issue.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Especially as like a trans person, like being aware
Mm-hmm.
of what that safety could look like
Mm-hmm.
and how important it is to protect that. Like, yes, DL folks in general have a level of problematic, and we are going to
Mm-hmm.
100%
And they
recognize
are.
this.
Mm-hmm.
And they are. Some of them are DL for a multitude of reasons. There's a
Mm-hmm.
small percentage of it that is safety.
Yeah, I was gonna say for their reason for safety.
Hmm.
So even when you do something like that, like you're not taking into account like that person, again, it's safety reasons for them as well. So not cool. I don't like when anybody from our community does that again, unprovoked.
Hmm.
Um, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, general outing, no.
Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. All
So
right.
look,
Well,
general outing. Mm-mm.
no.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
that's our official our press release would be like general outing. Mm-mm.
Mm.
Mm-mm.
I
No,
was
don't
like,
do that.
provoked outing. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes. So, yeah, love a good provoked one.
Okay.
It's
Be like, challenge
entertaining. It
accepted.
is. I mean, yeah, it's entertaining. Like the same dangers pretty much exist for both, but
Mhm.
unprovoked, it's like again, you don't know the safety of everybody is on there. Like I don't know who pissed her off to release this list, but I'm
Like the
sure some
whole
people
list
got
too.
caught a whole list. But I'm sure some people got caught up in that didn't deserve to be outed. So,
Yeah.
mm, woof, rough out
All
there.
right. Wow. Wow. No, I had not heard
uh,
that story. Hopefully it pops up now that we've
yeah.
talked about it and
Yeah, no,
I'll
it
Google it.
came out
I'll
even
Google
this.
it.
I'll send you the article, but it was like around like the last week or so of April. So it's been a couple weeks since it happened, but I
Oh,
was like, woof.
look at
And then
that.
there was other discussions too about just like, is it out? Like, I guess like they were saying, if these men are attracted to trans women, then like, is it an outing? Like, what are you trying to shame them because they're supposed to be, whatever. There was a whole conversation
Mm,
around that. I was like, don't like, just don't unprovoked out anybody. So,
yeah.
um, yeah,
There we go.
that's the bad queers position on outings. So,
We stamped it right there.
we updated it. So,
Thank you so much.
mhm,
Thank you so much. All
yes.
right. Well, on that note, let's go ahead and wrap up the show. But we would never leave you without giving shout outs to our faves. My shout out this week goes to a new book that is coming out called Athlete is Agender: True Stories of LGBTQ plus people in sports. This was written by Catherine Locke and Nicole Melby. This book is about being queer and loving and playing sports. It highlights a mix of athletes we should be paying attention to and how anyone should be able to play the sports that they love. So go and follow them. Each Catherine's Instagram is at Bibliogato, which I like, and
Ooh,
Nicole Melby is at Nicole Melby.
clever.
Right, I like that. I was like, that's a good one. And Nicole
Very, very
Melby is
clever.
at Nicole Melby, Melleby. You can go follow them each, keep track of when everything's being released and talked about all of that. So,
Very
athlete
cool.
is agender.
All right, my shout out is a re-shout out because I shouted this person out a couple years ago, but wanted to do it again for Intellectual Media, run by Elexus Jionde, which is teaching you history you didn't learn in school. Author, educator Elexus Jionde teaches history, sex, sociology, and pop culture with a heavy focus on Black women whose stories are not told enough in history retrospectives and documentaries. All of her videos are so well done. Follow her on YouTube at Intellectual Media. We'll have that in the description, but just really good episodes. She has deep dives into the 90s, the 80s, and the 70s, and then she does little quickies and shorts on different things. Like 2 days ago, she did a history of Black style and fashion, which was great after the Met Gala, but always just really smart and entertaining videos and everything. I just love how she tells history and just nuance and perspectives and the editing. Everything's good. Just check it out. You'll love it. It's very informative. And shout out to Alexis.
All right. That's awesome. Well,
Yeah, it's
great.
really
Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, we will see you next week.
take care.
Me again. Can we talk about things? I'm sorry.